like that. So thank you.
Then
Thank you.
I have my notes here. If there's something I'll
Yeah,
have to
I
check
should
out.
send you a question, but I had no time to do it
I see,
because
no problem.
I just spent 3 days here in Åland.
Yeah.
I've been coming from Helsinki by
Yeah.
car
See, yeah.
and car and boat.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
and ferry boat. And now I'm going to Sweden
Yeah.
because I have a small cabin in Falun.
Ah, in Falun.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. My brother lives in Falun.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I love this place.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's from that's 3 years. I bought a small cabin
Okay.
close to the lake
Okay.
because yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because Natalie, my wife, and me, we love skating.
Yeah.
Ice skating.
I see, I see.
So we come every winter
Yeah.
from 3 years now.
Yeah.
And sometimes in summer for kayak.
Yeah, I see. Well,
So we love so much the place.
yeah.
Instead of coming from Stockholm every time,
Yeah.
we say, we will go to Helsinki,
Yeah.
driving,
Yeah.
and after that we will go back from Stockholm to Helsinki
Yeah,
by
actually.
ferry boat. So we
Yeah.
make a circle like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we are every winter in Falun,
Right.
mostly cross country skiing. But last winter we were also skating at
Yes.
at the lake. We don't have the proper equipment.
Yeah.
I think I had some hockey skates, but my wife and daughter they rented.
Yeah.
Real.
There is a place in Borlänge
Yeah.
where you can borrow skates
Yeah.
also.
I see. Yeah.
Because we have long distance
Yeah.
skate shoes,
Yeah.
but sometimes we will borrow the
Yeah.
hockey just for fun because I
Yeah.
was a hockey player when I was
Yeah,
young.
I see,
so
I see.
that was
Yeah,
why
yeah.
we love skating.
Yeah, but I think it's really nice. Yeah.
Yes, and we were also thinking about could be nice over here skating, but I asked to some people, and people told me that the last winters it was not so cold.
No.
I think you can skate in Finland, but mostly on lakes.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends, but I would say it's mostly in southern Finland. It's mostly on lakes. But if you are lucky and there's a cold winter and cold weather in December, for example, there can be really nice opportunities at sea also. But it's not that common, and I mean the winters here in the Åland Islands are usually kind of unstable. So yes, you can go cross country skiing, and you can even go skating, but it's not a guarantee that it will be good conditions. So. So.
But even in Falun, it's not always.
No, but much better. Than here, though.
And also there are many lakes around, so sometimes we have an application for that, and we check where we can go skating. And some lakes are okay, the other one no, and so. So let's talk about radio and TV. So my first question will be. As a manager of the smallest public service in the world, that's true, I think.
I think so.
What is your main challenge now? Because we are in an era of digital with social media. In every country, we talk about the competition with social media, and so you are in a very small place. And what are your main challenge now?
Good question, and I would say that the company's name is officially Ålands Radio and TV, and an important notion is that yes, we do some TV, but that's not much, and it's mainly archive programs and programs that we get from the other Nordic public service companies for for no cost basically. So we have this channel, Ålandskanalen in TV, and sometimes we do some press conference or some special program, but that's not really in our core business. So our core business is the radio and the web.
Yeah.
And we have no really recent service with the public, but I think it's kind of safe to assume that the faithful radio listeners are mainly elderly people who have the time to listen, if not all day, so at least large parts of the day. I think when we come to younger people or even people in their working ages, they maybe have the radio on in the car and maybe at breakfast. And we also have some signals that younger mothers who are home with their infants are listening a little bit more. But it's really hard to nowadays, I think, to reach this big chunk of the public with radio in longer sections and longer programs, and especially with our so to speak spoken contents. I think at many workplaces and in many cars you want music, mainly as some sort of background entertainment, and it's hard to reach people because the on-demand era is here, so you want to decide what content you will take in, and just putting on a channel and see what's coming, and this is interesting. It would be nice if it would be so, and I think that it can happen, but not with younger people. And then I don't talk about teenagers, but about people up to 50 or 60 years old. So it's really important for us to reach our audience also on the website, where we have short texts and different kind of audios, and there are of course news, but we post also discussions and longer pieces, reportages or something there, and hopefully we can reach a large enough part of the population in the Åland Islands this way.
Yeah, so because as most of the public service, you have competitions, private company. I think there are private radios, radios coming from Sweden and Finland, and so how can you, and also a private news company, I think here in Åland. So how can you compete to this other media? Because you have, I don't know if your budget is the largest media business of Åland, but it's a challenge.
Yes, it's a challenge. I think there's several aspects to that question. I know that Tidningen Åland is the largest media in Åland if you compare to their budget and their staff, but on the other hand they have a big commercial part also that's who's not making journalism. So it's maybe not fair to compare.
But what you said that you are the only audio to make news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I mean, there's this private channel, Still FM, and they have some sort of news sometimes. But I mean, they are mainly a music and entertainment channel, and that's fine. I think they have a different niche, so to speak. And when it comes to journalism, our main competitors are the local newspapers, Tidningen Åland and Nya Åland. But of course, they have their paper products still, if not going strong, still living. And I mean, I think they have been really successful if you compare to other.
And I think they have their own website also.
Yeah, they have. Yeah. They have. I think their business model, however, still is quite tightly tied to the paper newspaper, the printed newspaper. But of course, on the web we are, in a sense, competing on the same arena, and that since we have this public funding and they have to have paying subscribers.
Yeah.
We have this internal rule that we have to put text on the web to be able to reach out, but we should restrain ourselves and not publish long texts.
So to leave it to the competition, to the private sector?
To leave it to the private sector. And this has been a debate for, I mean, several years in the Nordic countries, mainly Sweden and Finland, or I know mainly Sweden and Finland, and on which terms public service can publish online, and especially text then, and I mean in Finland public service publish a lot of text, and they have long articles on their web page. In Sweden they are more restricted. They have really short texts, and if we compare us to other Nordic countries, we can see that, well, it depends a little.
But that situation is it's a regulation that's it's or you decided to make it short.
In our case, we have no legal regulation, but I mean we see the problem competing with the tax money to the private sector. We don't accept that we shouldn't have texts at all online. But we have as an internal company decision. It's not even a decision by our board. It's the company itself that has decided that we will have texts on the website, but they shouldn't be more than 1,500 signs.
Oh yes,
and there are of course some.
So it's auto-regulation.
Yes.
It's like an auto-regulation.
Yeah. It's an auto-regulation, and that's interesting because in Finland there was mainly the Finnish parliament who decided about some guidelines for YLA, so they had to cut down on their text. a couple of years ago. They still have more and longer text than we do, but it has been kind of an interesting position to be in between Finland and Sweden, and two completely different cultures when it comes to public service and text online, with a really much text in Finland and quite
But
little
that's
text
for
in
the
Sweden.
web, but on the radio, so you can have longer story.
Yeah. In the audio we can have as long as we want. But I mean, I think when it comes to the competition and the media economics and that debate, it has been concentrated about the issue of text online. And then of course when we do documentaries and debates and whatever, that's not a problem, it as long as it's published as audio files. But to get the attention of the public, you just can't put there on an audio file and expect to get a lot of listeners. You have to give them some information about what is going on here, what's the conflict, and a headline isn't sufficient.
Okay, but how you manage the situation? On one side, you have free media, maybe except the print, which is, I think, paid media, but the free other radio station or everything that you can find on the web, and you have participation of the population, the people they pay. So are they okay to pay the tax or the fee, or do you have problem with that, or is it easy to manage the situation? Because the people could say, we don't work in many countries. I did work a lot in Switzerland, and even in Switzerland, where the public service is very important, because we have a free language, and that's the public service make it together. So that's very important. But there are people that don't want anymore that the people pay for the public service. So I can imagine that there are some people here who don't want to pay anymore the public service and say, we don't need it, we have free media. So how you manage the situation? Because it's important for you that they still pay. And they pay more and more. I think I read that they have 15% of increase in.
Actually, I would say, of course, we have this debate in the Åland Islands as well. I think one thing that is really important to note is that the media tax in the Åland Islands, it's lower than in Finland. So most people pay less money here, and still they get more, because we are publishing all the Finnish public service channels. We get all the Swedish public service channels, and we have our own channels. So if you are a citizen in the Åland Islands, you pay less and you get more compared to a citizen in Finland. Yes, it's true that the tax has risen a little latest years, but it was really low for a long period of time, and for 15 years or so it wasn't adjusted at all, and then in 2020 I think the tax was bound to the inflation, so the last few years it has been adjusted according to inflation, but in real terms, I think Ålands Radio and TV has lost maybe I don't have the current number, but maybe 20% of the financing if you compare to 2005 or something.
Mhm.
So in the long run we have a little less money, but of course we have been really grateful that we have this automatic adjustment of the tax the last years, because it has been some inflation, and without the adjustments we would have been very ill off, I think. But to return to the question about a portion of the population not being willing to pay the tax, that is true. There's not much they can do about it in the short term, because the tax is withdrawn automatically by the tax authorities in Finland. But of course, in the long term, it's important for us to reach out, and I mean that's a big reason why we can't rely only on traditional radio, because, as I said in the beginning, a large part of the population do not really listen to traditional radio, at least not that much. So we have to reach them with our contents on the web, where we have an opportunity to get through, and to show them, look, you pay this tax and you get something in return.
So it looks like you are a web public service most than a radio public service.
No, I think it's both. I mean, since we are so small, most of the things we are doing should work in traditional radio and on the web.
Yeah.
So we have this. I mean, these are the two legs, and they are not competing with each other. I hope they can support each other. And still, if we would come to money, I think, I mean, the radio part costs more because of all the infrastructure and the technology it demands.
Yeah, transmitters and
yeah,
because it's pretty large.
Yeah,
place.
And we have this mast and distribution system and the editing programs. I mean,
it's still FM distribution, FM.
Yes, still they have their own distribution.
But I mean, there is no
still FM. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
FM.
I thought you said Steel FM. That's the name.
No,
of
no.
that.
Yeah.
No, yes, it's FM radio.
Yeah. No DAB
no,
yet.
No. And I'm not sure if there ever will be. I mean, we have. I mean, in our app and on our web page, you can listen to the
in Sweden
radio
also.
Yeah.
And there is no project that you will distribute with DAB. It's
not currently.
No.
In
Finland also, because in Sweden there is DAB. In Norway also, no more FM, and so you're like a resistance of the FM.
I'm not really an expert in this regard. You should have some of my colleagues here who have followed these questions more closely than I have. But I would say no. We will, of course, if we see that there are big changes in Finland, for example, we might have to follow, but currently, no.
About other revenue for the radio, you have only this taxes revenue, but you have no advertising, nothing, like no sponsoring or nothing.
That's true. Advertising is strictly prohibited for us. We can have sponsoring in some special cases, but that should be, I mean, be in sports maybe. But I have been in the company for almost 3 years now, and I think we have had no sponsor deals during that period. We have some small revenues from renting out places in our radio mast for other companies, and we have some with a cooperation with YLA, which pays us, or they pay us a small sum every year to be able to use our content in their journalism. So they and sometimes we do some special jobs for them also. But I would say that over 95% of our budget is this
so
money.
The people who own company or stores and things like that, they have no way to use your radio or website to communicate.
No.
So, but sometimes maybe they have news like information about a new company or a new store.
Yeah.
And so, can you do something with that? Or?
Yes, we can. But I mean, there has to be a solid journalistic argument to say, okay, this fulfills all our news criteria. We write about it, but we decide what we report.
Even for cultures or events.
Yeah, basically the same principles apply for everything. But I think I think our staff are more cautious when it becomes to commercial activities, consumer to business activities. Then there are maybe more red flags and more questions. Should we do this, or is it somehow contradictive to the public service ideals? But for I mean business owners who want to have radio commercials, there are still FM, the other local channel, and they do commercials, and I mean the newspapers have of course advertisements as well, and I think for sure it's one reason that Åland have this very strong media market compared to its small population is that there has been a lot of kind of strong businesses in the Åland Islands willing to advertise.
You have an idea of the market, the advertising market of the islands?
Well, I mean, I'm not, of course, directly involved in it, but you see and you hear what kind of advertisements there are out there, and I have myself a background in the newspaper business. I worked a long time ago a little bit for New Åland here, and before this job for 8 years at Hufvudstadsbladet in Helsinki, and of course I mean advertising is a large part of the business for newspapers.
Yeah, I've seen there is also free newspapers, not newspapers but magazines. Free magazines with a lot of advertising inside.
There are. And that's a whole other business. I think I don't know. I mean, even if they are printed in many copies, these free magazines, I doubt that there's a great value for the advertisers, but that's my personal personal belief. But I think that most people really fast go through the magazines, and they don't really have the exposure that they would like to have. But I don't know. But for sure, the digital shift is affecting the advertisement markets really much, and you can do quite effective marketing with Google or Facebook for a cheap price.
Yeah, and also to come back to the web and to the internet news also, how do you compete with Facebook, all the news that we can find on the web, because it's also one of the fit that you taught before. So if the people say, "How I can communicate on Facebook," that's okay, and maybe the population will be more concerned, because we've seen that in many countries, the people, they will look at Facebook to have the news. So how you can compete with that? Because you have real journalists.
Yeah. It's an interesting question, and I think we are maybe not. We might be better off than news outlets in bigger societies, because if you look at the big media platforms, Google and Facebook, they are it's often our material which they use and distribute for us. So and since we are public service and have no paywalls, it's not really that a big problem. And that we don't have this situation that are many news sources that are collected by Facebook or Google from the Åland Islands, since we are basically three here, us and the two newspapers. So we are concerned about Facebook and Google sometimes, but we often see that they are helping us as well. I think the big thing from a local perspective is in the Åland Islands that very many of the debates and discussion happens on Facebook. In different threads. I mean there are influential individuals on the political spectrum or somewhat, and if there's a big debate on something, it's harder for us or the newspaper to facilitate that debate, because it happens spontaneously on Facebook, and since the society is so small, in a big city or a big country, a person's Facebook page isn't enough to call it the debate of the day or the week. But here it can actually happen that the most interested people or the people who want to debate a certain issue have all of them or almost all of them have already seen this post. So that changes the field a little bit for us. Sometimes we hope to initiate debates, and sometimes we manage with it, but I think it can. I think we don't have the monopoly that
Yeah.
traditional media used to have on that arena
Yeah.
anymore.
So, for example, in Quebec, the French part of Canada, most of the media people, community and private, they don't want to share their news on Facebook because they still think that it's a competition, and if you bring the content to Facebook, you will lost listeners or reader on your own website. What do you think about?
That's a good question as well, and I mean it has been a challenge in Finland also, and for public service, it's often a question about what content are native to the social media platforms, and what content could you share on social media, but then you have to get to our web page to get the full story. And I mean, I'm maybe not I'm not the editor-in-chief of Ålands Radio, so Heidi should really answer the more detailed questions about the editorial side of the business. But I think the question is fair, and our publicism shouldn't be about manipulating the algorithm of Facebook in that regard, that we would be a producer for them, or would be doing business for Facebook. So we should somehow be able to do our own thing, and to get people to our own web page or radio channel also, of course. And I think that's important, because when we talk about news, Facebook is good in spreading news, but you also have all these false stories circulating.
Yeah, you think the population is aware about fake news and real news?
And
they make a good difference.
Rumors, and unconfirmed news, and so on. So I think we have a important role to play there, and it's a kind of usual news story nowadays, or setup. You see something on Facebook, this is interesting, let's do the real journalism and check it out and make a publication, and it's a fair news story telling you might have seen this on social media. This is the reality, because whether we want it or not, this discussion on or fake news or conspiracy theories or whatnot, they are affecting reality in our society, and as a serious news media, you should have your ears open about what's going on, and do the job.
Okay, my last question. If you had a a lot of money in your budget, more than your 2,300,000, I think, something like that. If you had a lot more money, what would you do with it? Where will you put the money?
Yeah, we would have a lot of pockets to put them in. There are a lot of projects. First, we should know, of course, that the more money would be for several years, so we can work long term with it. But if we say that we are about 20 persons now, say that we could be about 30 persons, 10 more. So I would definitely strengthen our technology distribution side. We could have one more employee there. I would absolutely recruit a couple of new news journalists. We don't really have anybody who is specialized in culture, so
because you have a lack of people, quality of people. Competence.
And then we would probably see if it would be possible to make some TV news as well. This would of course be integrated with the regular or the current editorial staff, and so on. So I think we could do a lot of interesting things.
More podcasts or things like that? Is podcast
probably. As you know, the public service idea is very broad. If you look at the bigger public service companies in Europe, it's everything from news to entertainment to children's program to documentaries, whatnot. And here we are so few, so we have an idea that we have the core mission and the special mission, and the core mission is what we actually have the resources to do every day, and that's the news coverage and the daily radio programs. That's our core missions, and it's for radio, and it's for the web. Then we have the special mission, and that's things that we say, yes, this is public service, this is somehow in our mission, but we can't do that every day. We don't have the resources, but we should do special projects now and then for children, or for TV, or for documentaries. And of course there are a lot in that bucket that we could do more often, or more thoroughly, or even move to our core mission if we would have a greater staff.
Do you think that artificial intelligence could help you? Do you use it already? Because you have a small team, so in many media we use AI like assistants to make more.
I think assistant is the key word there. We use artificial intelligence not much, but a little. It's great for example if you have a long report, 100 pages or something, uh, and you are going to make an interview with an expert or a politician, and you don't really have the time to read all the 100 pages. You can put it through an AI and get it shortened to 2 pages, and suggestions on questions to propose about the team. That can be helpful, and I think also for translating or subtitling or making, I mean, speech to text. Uh, uh, Things. So in AI can be helpful. I think we will see a development there.
Do you imagine that you will have someday speaker, journalist, artificial journalist?
Not
on
in the
the
near
air?
future, and I think we have to be honest to ourselves and see that, well, we are a small company, we can't be a front runner, but we will follow the development in Finland and in Sweden, which are our closest sister companies.
Yeah.
SR and SVT in Sweden and
Yeah.
YLA in Finland, and we have contacts in both directions. We are involved in the Nordic public service exchange, Nordvision, and so on. So we will see what happens.
Because they use AI in Sweden from a long time ago to produce podcasts and things like that.
Yeah. But I mean, we have an AI policy,
Yeah.
and one important point in that policy is that we should follow the development of AI on journalism in Finnish and Swedish public service. So we are curious about it, and I think for a small company we can have some really useful I mean, applications or time-saving procedures with the help of AI tools. But at the same time, we should be cautious and follow the development of the companies, which are actually has the time to do the groundwork.
Yeah. Okay, Frederick, thank you very much for all your time and to all these questions. I could ask you a lot more, but